Welcome to episode 25 of my enrolled agent career. If you're new here, I am your host, Timalyn Bowens, and I'm America's favorite EA. I'm also the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions, which is a virtual firm based in Louisville, Kentucky that specializes in helping taxpayers who owe the IRS $100,000 or more. In today's episode, we have no special guest. You're stuck with just me. But here's the good news. We've been on a hiatus since December of 2025. And the reason being is that I wanted to take the time during tax season to be intentional, to focus on my firm, to also give you time to focus on your firm so that we could come back strong and deliver more good episodes. I don't know if you've ever listened to a podcast and after a while it's like they're just putting out episodes just to put them out. If you've been listening to me any amount of time, you already know that I believe in being intentional, and that's why we intentionally took a break to come back. Now, in 2025, we had 24 episodes. They were almost every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. This year, from episode 25 tonight, you can plan to hear a new episode of the podcast for the next 26 Sundays. Nope, 25 after this Sundays. This year, I'm going to be delivering 26 new episodes. And no, all 26 episodes won't be just me. I'm going to be bringing on some new guests, and I'm going to have some people come back to share with you some updates and the evolution of their firm and their journey and how that may help you. But for this special episode, episode 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29, you are going to be with me because there are some things that I want to make sure that we lay down as the foundation for you in your journey. Whether you are starting with studying right now or actually building your firm, these things are critical to your success. Okay. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, I do want to take the time to welcome you to our new home on YouTube, the Enrolled Agent Hub. On this YouTube channel, it's going to differ from America's favorite EA because you will find all things related to being an enrolled agent here, whether it's passing the enrolled agent exam, starting a firm, building a firm, growing a firm. You're going to find all of that in the Enrolled Agent Hub. Okay. But let me get into our topic for tonight. I want to talk about goal setting, and I'll go ahead and break it down for you. We're going to have goal setting tonight. Next week, we're going to talk about time management. And yes, I do have notes, so I stay on track here. Then we're going to talk about your service offerings, marketing, and pricing. Now, typically when I'm solo, I'm going to go about 15, 20 minutes, sometimes maybe 10. But I don't want to go any longer on these because I want you to be able to take the information that I'm sharing with you and actually implement it this week in your firm. Okay. Now, when I share the stories, that's different. We go about an hour to give people the opportunity to tell us about themselves. But in here, because I believe in action, because I believe in being intentional, I want you to take to heart what I'm saying and actually implement it this week and come back and let me know what steps you plan on taking. Let me know what goals you set tonight, because that's what we're talking about in tonight's episode. So, right to it with goal setting. A lot of people who will reach out to me and they're like, hey, I really want to become an EA. Can you mentor me? Hey, I want to build my EA practice. Can you mentor me? Hey, I'm thinking about taking the exam. Can you mentor me? First of all, I'm extremely humbled and privileged that you all would trust me, right? To even want me to help you along in building your business. But when I do begin to dive in and ask questions, it becomes very apparent that A lot of people haven't thought past the first initial thing. They either haven't allowed themselves to dream or they want to achieve enrolled agent status, but they don't know why they want to achieve it. And if you're new here and you're thinking about different careers in tax, the enrolled agent license is the highest license and designation that the Internal Revenue Service awards to tax professionals. With the designation, we are allowed to have unlimited tax representation rights before the IRS under Circular 230. Only enrolled agents, such as myself, certified public accountants, CPAs, and tax attorneys have these rights. We literally can step into the shoes of the taxpayer and negotiate on their behalf, advocate on their behalf, settle tax debt on their behalf. Okay. There's a lot of weight and authority with what we do, but a lot of people don't realize that or take the time to embrace that because they haven't taken into consideration what them becoming an enrolled agent means for themselves and what it's going to mean for the taxpayer, which takes us to goal setting. If you don't understand the power and authority that you're asking for, how are you going to know what to do with it? Now, one of my favorite episodes on this podcast is with my big tax sis, Miss Keisha Dawson Harris. Go back, even if you've heard it already, and listen to that episode where we talk about not just her story, but walking in your authority as an enrolled agent. Okay. When I first decided to sit for the exam, I already had a vision of how I was going to use that license to help taxpayers, to advocate on their behalf. And what I've done with that, and all thanks and glory to God, right? He's taken that and expanded that to where now I not only help taxpayers, I also help tax professionals, but it's gone above and beyond what I could have even thought about it. With you becoming an enrolled agent, I need you to understand that you have to be intentional and set goals. Not just, I want to help taxpayers. What kind of taxpayers do you want to help? Not just, I want to help people. How do you want to help people? Now, quite frankly, I believe all enrolled agents should offer representation tax services. That means helping taxpayers in audits, helping taxpayers in appeals, helping taxpayers remove levies, remove liens. However, not all tax professionals who become an enrolled agent want to do that because not all tax professionals want to deal with the IRS themselves. Most of my referrals come from CPAs and other EAs. Okay. So I get it, but we have to be crystal clear in what the goal is. One of the reasons that a lot of businesses don't succeed is because they don't have a clear goal. But I want to share 3 other reasons that they usually don't succeed. And the reason I'm sharing these is not to look down on you, but to provide some clarity for you so that you can make sure that you have these things so your business plan and dreams don't become the statistic of businesses that fail within the first 5 years. Okay. So we want to have crystal clear goals, but in order to achieve those goals, you have to have faith in yourself, believe that you can do it, maybe not alone, but maybe with the right support system, with the right team, with the right community. But faith in yourself is critical. If you don't believe that you can do it, that's going to be true. You're not going to be able to do it. I've worked with probably hundreds at this point of tax professionals who say, you know what? I want to go get clients, but then they don't put themselves out there to get the clients because they don't believe in themselves that they know how to do the work, but they want to take 102 hours of continuing education every year instead of actually putting it into practice. You all know I use this analogy often. Just because you get your driver's license doesn't mean you know how to drive. You have to actually put yourself behind the wheel of a vehicle and get it done. Now, with a lot of us, we had a parent or a guardian that taught us how to drive. That again is why, if we look at that analogy, community is important. I'm not telling you go out there blind and mess up somebody's life, right, with their money, because what we do is very, very important. But with the right guidance, the right community, if you can drive from point A to B, you can definitely help a client's tax situation go from A to B as well. You just have to get comfortable behind the wheel, because that's what the enrolled agent license allows you to do, is get behind the wheel and drive to that taxpayer's success and close the case with the IRS. Okay. So we have to have faith in ourselves. Then we have to have discipline. Okay. A lot of the stuff that we do as business owners, a lot of the stuff that gets done as an enrolled agent isn't difficult per se. The difficult part is having the discipline to put yourself out there day in and day out and get the reps in. It's always funny to me because when I help people with their marketing, they're like, well, I'm doing this and it's not really working. And one of the most humbling experiences that you can have is to say that something is not working, but then realize that you weren't actually doing it, which often is the case with people that I'm helping with marketing. Because here's the thing, when you're in community with me and you say something's not working, I'm going to ask you what you've done. I'm going to ask you how many times you've done it. I'm going to ask you who you've done it with. Because when we look at the numbers and we see, oh, you only tried 3 times and it didn't work, and you didn't have clear messaging, you weren't reaching out to the right audience, and all of these things, you have to hold yourself accountable to when you're not actually stepping up to the plate. You can't hit a home run if you're batting from the dugout, right? So we have to have faith in yourself to reach the goal. You have to have the discipline, which discipline is an exercise. It's something that you can build. So if you don't have discipline now, it's not too late. Okay. But then not only do you have to have faith in yourself, not only do you have to have discipline, you have to actually take action to move forward to achieve the goal that you've set. Let me give you an example. And this is a little bit of marketing, but it all ties in together, right? Let's say that you want to make $50,000 as an enrolled agent, and these numbers are a little bit different now, but let's say that $50,000, the average case is $5,000. Now, for me, I've had years where my average case was a little bit less, and I've had years where my average case was more. So I think $5,000 is still fair. For me, if I want to get 10 new clients and that would yield the $50,000, I can't only talk to 10 people. Forgive me. Now I might be able to only talk to 10 people, but let's talk about as far as attracting the leads. Okay. So for me, if I have somebody that is a lead, just because you're watching this YouTube video, I would not consider you a lead. Even if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, I'm still not going to consider you a lead yet, which, by the way, I would love if you do, especially because the Enrolled Agent Hub is new. So if you rock with me, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, YouTube has your data and information, not me. So I can't directly reach out to you, and you're not really sure if you rock with me or not. You're like, okay, I want to see your videos, but I don't necessarily want you in my inbox yet, right? I don't consider somebody a lead until they've actually given me their name, email address, and sometimes phone number. All right. So if I want to get 10 new people, check this math out. My goal is to make 50,000 people or $50,000. I need to talk, or I need to convert 10 people to do that based on the average case price. For me, that means I need to talk to 30 different people. All right. So for me, when I say I talk to 30 different people, I need 30 different leads. All right. I need 30 people to say, I believe in what you're saying and I believe that you can help me. From there, I need 18 of those people to be qualified. Because listen, and this is why it's very important to be very clear in your messaging, whether you are at a networking event or you are online marketing. That is all marketing and building a brand, by the way. You don't have to be on YouTube like me to market. And I'll talk about that in the marketing episode. I need 18 of those people to be qualified. So as I mentioned before, I work with people that owe the IRS $100,000 or more. When I say that, everybody that owes under $100,000 is still going to reach out. I would say the majority of people that I helped last year probably owed around $80,000. That's fine. But if somebody only owes $10,000 and they reach out, they may be on my email list, but they're not going to get me to my average case amount, right? They're going to actually make that average fall down. Or if I have somebody who hasn't taken the time to get to know me through the different content, it's going to take longer for them to convert. So I need 18 of these people to be ready to go now. So in conversation with them, from the 18, I can convert to 10. Now, the math that I did was easy, right? I need to get 30 people to believe in what I'm doing, say that I can help them. I do this by way of the email list. I do this by way of making a call to action. When I speak at an event, I'm like, hey, here's a QR code, book an appointment with me. I do this by way of on the podcast, it's actually the Timalyn Bowens podcast, saying, hey, if you want to see if you're a good fit to work with me, book a call, because then I'm getting the email address and everything, right? And then I get the opportunity to see if they're qualified to work with me. Then I see, okay, I need at least 18 of them. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm sorry, something is on my eye for the people who are watching video. At this point in time, because I have the messaging a little bit better and I've been doing this for some years, I probably could talk to 10 people and convert 10 people. But if you're just starting out and you are here because you need help with goal setting, you need help with time management, you need help with service offerings, marketing and pricing, you probably are going to have to talk to all 30 leads. But that's okay, because a 33% conversion rate is still good. But with the goal, what I'm telling you is that you have to be specific and understand the metrics that need to be achieved to reach your goal. So yes, even you brand new starting out, you can make $50,000 in the month of June by being an enrolled agent and representing taxpayers before the IRS. But if you say you want to make $50,000, you have to have your pricing together. You have to know what your service offering is. You have to know how many people you need to talk to convert. So let's just say that you have somebody who needs a transcript investigation, and let's say they owe $100,000, but they can pay in full within 72 months. So you're going to do a direct debit installment agreement. And let's say the price for all of that is $5,000. Do you know how to get 30 different people to book a call with you? And maybe you're like, hey, Timalyn, 50,000 is a lot, or maybe you feel overwhelmed by talking to 30 people. Do you know, let's break it in half. So 25,000. Do you know how to get 15 people to book a call with you because of what you do, because they need the information? Now, that conversion number We need 9 of those 15 to be qualified. But the way the math works, if you were solid, then you should be able to get those 5 people to make $25,000. But that's the thing. Some of you listening to this said, oh my goodness, but I'm not solid. Well, there goes the faith in yourself that you can do it. You have to have that and believe that you can do it. You are going to have the discipline to put yourself out there to get 15 people to believe that you can help them with their situation. Now, that is informing your network what an enrolled agent is. That's informing your network what you do as an enrolled agent. That's informing your family and friends of what you do. Just last week, I had a family member reach out with this type of issue that's been suffering in silence with this type of issue because they knew I do taxes, but not exactly what I do with taxes. If you're here watching me, you all know that I'm all over YouTube, I'm all over Facebook. I'm probably the first actual face you see if you look up enrolled agent. Definitely if you look up America's favorite enrolled agent. I've had Bowens Tax Solutions for, it'll be 10 years this year. I have an accounting degree. My family should ideally know what I do, right? But not all of them do. So if my family doesn't understand what I do and you're not telling anybody, don't make the assumption that your family and friends understand the weight of what you do and the authority that you have to help taxpayers. All right. So check this out. Maybe you're still studying for the exam. Maybe your goal is when PSI, the new test administrator, opens up testing in July, that you're going to knock out your first part of the exam. Maybe your goal is to have all three parts of the exam passed before next tax season. That's still an amazing goal, but you still have to dig in and do the same thing that I just did with the income goal and break it down to understand, okay, this is what I need to do to actually get through the material. This is what I need to do to make sure I actually understand the material. This is what I need to do to prepare for test day. And then you still need the 3 parts, even though you may not technically be in business yet. You need faith in yourself that you're going to actually be able to accomplish all of the study steps that you've taken to reach your goal of passing the exam. You're going to need to have the discipline to sit down somewhere and study. We all have stuff going on. Do you want this or do you not want it? It is honestly up to you. We make time for it and prioritize what we want. If you want this, you have to prioritize it and make sure that you get it done. After that, you have to take the action and just do it. All right. Now, next week, I'm going to get into it a bit more with time management, how to build a sample schedule for if you are studying for the exam. I'm going to do a sample schedule for if you're just starting your firm out. And then I'm going to do a schedule for if you're in that phase where you're good, you feel like you got the systems in place, and now it's time to actually grow the firm. All right. If you like today's episode, if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, please like the video. Please make sure that you're subscribed so that you catch me next week when we talk about time management. And last but not least, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what part or parts of the episode were helpful to you. Let me know what other topics you'd like to hear about to help you build your firm. Because here's the thing, this podcast was created with you in mind. All right. As I build this and I ask people to come on to share their stories, it's all about my fellow EAs because I didn't have something like this when I was studying for the exam. I didn't have something like this when I started my firm, when I was building. And even now, in a scale phase, there's nothing like this specifically for enrolled agents. So I would love the opportunity to help you skip some of the roadblocks, right? Be victorious over some of the things that held me up. So again, it's all about you. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and I will see you all next week when we talk about time management. See you at 8 p.m. Eastern.